Hi everyone, today we'll solve the questions in the past paper IGCSE Mathematics 0580 in February and March 2024, and this is question paper 22. Question 1. A night bus runs from 21:50 to 5:18 the next day. Work out the number of hours and minutes that the bus runs. So first of all, we'll draw a timeline for this question. We start from 21:50 and end in 5:18. So the next whole hour after 21:50 is 22 o'clock. And we also choose 0 o'clock or 12 midnight at the end of the day. This one is 10 minutes. From 22 o'clock to 0 o'clock, there are 2 hours. And this one is 5 hours and 18 minutes. So we add up these three intervals together. 10 minutes plus 2 hours plus 5 hours and 18 minutes is equal to 7 hours and 28 minutes. So the answer is 7 hours 28 minutes. Question 2. Calculate the square root of 5.76 plus 2.8 cubed. You can use a calculator for this question. The square root of 5.76 is 2.4 plus 2.8 cubed is equal to 21.952. And the answer for this is 24.352. Question 3. Simplify this expression. First, we collect the like terms. 4m minus m plus 7k plus 3k. 4m minus m is 3m. 7k plus 3k is 10k. Question 4. The diagram shows the net of a cuboid with its base shaded. The length of the cuboid is 10 centimeters. The width is 4 centimeters and the height is 5 centimeters. Write down the values of each of A, B, C, and D. So you see that this one is the base of the cuboid. So you can determine the other faces. For example, this one will be the top face, and suppose that this is the back face, then this one will be the front face. Then this one is the left face, and the other will be the right face of the cuboid. And now we see that the length is 10 centimeters. This one is the length. It's 10 centimeters. So we can say that the top face, this one is also 10 centimeters. And this one is also 10. That is the length of the cuboid. And now we know that the width of the cuboid is 4 centimeters. This is the width of the cuboid, 4 centimeters. So this one is also the width, 4 centimeters. And the same for this, 4 centimeters. And the top face should be the same as the base. So C is also the width, 4 centimeters. And now let's talk about the height. The height is 5 centimeters. So this one is the height, 5 centimeters. And the width is 4 centimeters. 5 for this. Now we'll calculate the values of A, B, C, and D. A is equal to 4 plus 10 plus 4 equals 18 centimeters. B is equal to the length, so it is 10 centimeters. C is the same as the width, so it is 4 centimeters. And D is equal to 5 plus 4 equals 9 centimeters. So the final answer is 18, 10, 4, and 9. Question 5. There are 20 cars in a car park and 3 of the cars are blue. A. James wants to draw a pie chart to show this information. Find the angle of the sector for the blue cars in this pie chart. You know that in a pie chart, the total, which is 20 cars, is corresponding to 360 degrees. And so we want to find the angle of the sector that represents 3 blue cars. So the formula is 3 out of 20 multiplied by 360 degrees equals 54 degrees. So the answer is 54. B. One of the 20 cars is picked at random. Find the probability that the car is not blue. You know that the number of blue cars is 3. So the number of cars that is not blue is 20 minus 3 equals 17 cars, which is not blue. And the probability of this car is 17 out of 20. This is the final answer. Question 6. Write A, B as a column vector. You know that the coordinates of A is 7, 1, and the coordinates of B is -3, 4. And the vector AB is equal to XB minus XA, YB minus YA. XB is -3 minus XA, which is 7. YB is 4, subtract YA, which is 1. So the answer is -10, 3. -10, 3. Or you can also say that from A to B, we need to move to the left 10 units. So the X is -10. And then we move up 3 units, so Y is 3. So the answer is -10, 3. This is the vector AB. Question 7. As the temperature increases, the number of people who go swimming increases. Write down the type of correlation that the statement describes. So you see that if one quantity increases and then the other quantity also increases, this means this is a positive correlation. Question 8. A. The nth term of a sequence is n squared minus 3. Find the first 3 terms of this sequence. So the first term is, which is n equals 1. 1 squared minus 3 equals -2. The second term, which means n equals 2. 2 squared minus 3 is 4 minus 3 equals 1. And the third term, which is 3 squared minus 3 equals 9 minus 3 equals 6. So the 3 terms are -2, 1, and 6. B. These are the first 5 terms of a different sequence. Find the nth term of this sequence. So in this case, we see that 1 multiplied by 3 equals 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And 27 times 3 is 81. So this one must be an exponential sequence. And the general term for an exponential sequence is t1 multiplied by r to the power of n minus 1. In this case, t1 is the first term, and r is the common ratio, which is 3. So let's substitute t1 equals 1 multiplied by the common ratio is 3. 3 to the power of n minus 1. So the answer is just 3 to the power of n minus 1. We don't need to write 1 multiplied by it because 1 multiplied by any number is itself. Question 9. The line y equals 2x minus 5 intersects the line y equals 3 at the point P. So we find the coordinates of the point P. In this case, we see that the two y are the same. So, which means 2x minus 5 is equal to 3. And to solve for x, we add 5 to both sides. 3 plus 5 equals 8. And then we divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to 4. And you see that x is 4 and y is 3. So the coordinates of the point P is 4, 3. Question 10. The diagram shows a trapezium PQRS. Calculate the area of the trapezium. In a trapezium, if you want to calculate the area, we use a formula A plus B multiplied by height. A plus B multiplied by H divided by 2. In this case, your A is 5.3 and your B is 8.7 multiplied by the height. The height is 3.8. Then we divide everything by 2. And the answer for this is 26.6 square centimeters. Question 11. Without using a calculator, work out 1 1/4 minus 5 6. First of all, 1 1/4, we multiply 1 by 4 equals 4. 4 plus 1 equals 5. So this is 5/4 minus 5 6. And then the least common denominator of 4 and 6 is the lowest common multiple of 4 and 6 is 12. So we use this as a common denominator. 4 times 3 equals 12. So 5 times 3 equals 15. And 6 times 2 is 12. So 5 times 2 is 10. Now 15 minus 10 equals 5. 5 over 12. So this is the final answer. Question 12. Ferret spins a three-sided spinner with sides labeled A, B, and C. The probability that the spinner lands on C is 0.35. Ferret spins the spinner 40 times. Calculate the number of times he expects the spinner to land on C. So in this case, we just multiply the probability 0.35 by the number of times he spins, which is 40. And the answer for this is 14 times. Question 13. The bearing of B from A is 107 degrees. Calculate the bearing of A from B. First of all, the bearing of B from A. So we start from A and the angle is 107, which is an obtuse angle. So suppose that this is B and this is the bearing 107 degrees. So now we want to find the bearing of A from B. So this is the bearing of A from B. And to do this, we will split this angle into two parts. We extend this line. So you see that this angle, the purple angle, should be the same as 107 degrees because they are the corresponding angle. They are the corresponding angles. And then the yellow angle is 180 degrees. So we add up 107 plus 180, which is equal to 287 degrees. So the answer is 287. Question 14. A train 1,750 meters long is traveling at 55 kilometers per hour. 1,750 meters. 55 kilometers per hour, this is the speed of the train. Calculate how long it will take for the whole train to completely cross a bridge that is 480 meters long. So suppose that we have a bridge here. This is the bridge, and it is 480 meters long. So in this case, let's think about the DST triangle. DST. In this case, we know that the speed is 55 kilometers per hour, and we want to find the time. So we also need to know the distance that the train covers. Some students may think that the distance that the train covers is 480 meters, but this is totally wrong, because in that case, for example, if the train covers 480 meters, then suppose that this is a point on the train, then the train doesn't completely cross the bridge. You know, if the train wants to cross the bridge completely, which means the train should be here. This one means the train completely cross the bridge, and this one means incomplete. So we don't accept this one, but we choose this. And in that case, the total distance that the train covers from this point to this point is, this is the total distance, which is 480 meters, the length of the bridge, plus the length of the train, which is 1,750 meters. And the total distance is equal to 2,230 meters. This is the distance, not 480 meters. And then we want to find the time, and we see that the speed is in kilometers per hour, so we also need to convert the speed from 55 kilometers per hour to meters per second, because we want the time in seconds. We need to write the time in seconds. So 55 kilometers per hour means over 1 hour. 55 kilometers is 55,000 meters, and 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. So we divide 55,000 by 3,600, then the answer is 275 over 18 meter per second. This is the speed. So now we know the distance, and we also know the speed. Then we apply the DST triangle. We find the time. The time is equal to distance divided by speed. The distance is 2,230 divided by the speed, which is 275 over 18. And the final answer is 146 seconds. When we round it to the nearest second, remember the question asks you to round it to the nearest second. So we say that the answer is 146 seconds. Question 15. A. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. This is triangle A, and this is the triangle B. And we see that the transformation from A to B should be a reflection. And this is the mirror line. This mirror line is x equals -2. So we say that the answer is a reflection in the line x equals -2. The second question, the transformation from triangle A onto triangle C. From A to C, we can see that it should be an enlargement. And to write an enlargement, to describe an enlargement, we need a few things. The first one is the center of enlargement, and the second is the scale factor. The scale factor. And so let's find the center first. To find the center, we join the corresponding points together. For example, these 2 points. And we also join these 2 points. They are the corresponding points. So I'll join them together. And we see that the 2 lines meet at a point here. The point is -3, -4. So we say that the center is -3, -4. If you want, you can continue to join these 2 corresponding points to check the answer, but we only need 2 lines, so we can skip that step. And now let's talk about the scale factor. To find the scale factor, you need to determine from A to C, which means A is the original shape and C is the image. And the scale factor means we need to find the ratio of image over origin. In this case, we can check the distance from the center to the image. For example, this one, it is 2 units, but from the center to the original point, it is 4 units. So we can say that the image over origin equals 2 over 4, which is 1/2. And then we see that A and C are on the same direction of the center. Same direction. Which means A and C are on the right hand side of the image. So in that case, the scale factor should be positive. And from these 2 properties, we can say that the scale factor is equal to 1/2. The scale factor is 1/2. And now question B. Draw the image of a triangle A after a rotation 90 degrees clockwise about 1, 3. So first of all, we'll determine the center, 1, 3. I'll use the purple. 1, 3 is here. And now we will rotate this point. So the image of that point will be here, 0, 3. And then the image of this point, 1, -2 will be, we see that the distance from this to 1, -2 is 5 units. So we'll count on 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that point is here. And we can join these 2 points together. Remember, we want to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. This is 90 degrees clockwise. This is the clockwise direction. And finally, we also rotate this one, this point. And we see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So we also rotated 90 degrees clockwise and we count on 4 units. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we determine that the image is here, -3, -1. So we'll join these 3 points together. And this is the image of A after a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise. So this is the answer for question B. Question 16. X is an integer. The universal set is the set of x so that x is bigger or equal to 1 and smaller than or equal to 10. So this set has 10 members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. P is the set that x is an even number. So this set includes 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And Q is the set of multiple of 5. So there are 2 members, 5 and 10. Now we need to complete the Venn diagram. You see that P and Q has a common element, which is 10. So 10 will be in the common section. And then Q has a member left, which is 5. P has 4 members left. There are 2, 4, 6, and 8. And now we'll write down the other elements of the universal set. We just count from 1 to 10, and if there's an element in P or Q, we'll skip that number. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So only 4 members in this set. Question 17. The height of each of 200 people is measured. The table shows the results, the height and the frequency. Calculate an estimate of the mean height. To find the mean height, we need to find the mid value of 100 and 120. 100 plus 120 equals 220. 220 divided by 2. 100 plus 120 divided by 2 equals 110. So 110 is the mid value of this interval. And then 120 plus 130 is 250. 250 divided by 2 is 125. Similarly, 130 plus 150 is 280. 280 divided by 2 is 140. 150 plus 190 is 340. 340 divided by 2 is 170. And now we will multiply 110 by the frequency. 32 plus 125 multiplied by 55 plus 140 multiplied by 64, and finally we multiply 170 by 49. Then we divide everything by the total frequency, which is 200 people. So the denominator is 200. And the answer for the mean height is 138.425 centimeters. Question 18. Find the highest common factor of 28x to the power 5 and 98x to the power 3. First, we will write 28 as the product of prime factors. 28 is equal to 4 times 7, which is 2 squared times 7. 98 is equal to 2 times 49, which is 2 times 7 squared. So the highest common factor of 28 and 98 is 2 and 7, which is 14. And the highest common factor of x to the power 5 and x cubed is x cubed. So we'll combine these two together. So the answer is 14x cubed. Question 19. The speed time graph shows the information about a bus journey. Calculate the total distance traveled by the bus. So in this case, you have the speed, the time, and you want to find the total distance. The total distance of this is like the area of the trapezium. We find the area of the trapezium. In this trapezium, A is equal to 140 minus 20 equals 120, and B is equal to 190, and the height is here, which is 15. So we apply the formula of the area of the trapezium. A plus B multiplied by height over 2. A is 120, B is 190, then multiply by 15, and we divide everything by 2. So the answer is 2,325 meters. Question 20. Find the area of the triangle ABC. In this triangle, we know the length of the two sides and the angle in the middle of them. So we can use the formula. The area of the triangle is equal to 1/2 of BC multiplied by BA multiplied by sine of the angle B, which is 1/2 multiplied by 5.6 and 4.9 multiplied by sin 23 degrees. So the answer is 5.36 square centimeters. Question 21a. The fifth root of 3 is equal to 3 to the power of h. Write down the value of h. First of all, you know that the nth root of a is equal to a to the power of 1 over n. So the fifth root of 3 is equal to 3 to the power of 1/5. So in this case, this is 3 to the power of 1/5. And on the right hand side, we have 3 to the power of h, which means 1/5 is equal to h. So we can write h is 1/5 or 0.2. B. Simplify 4x cubed onto the power of 3. This one is equal to 4 cubed multiplied by x cubed onto the power of 3. 4 cubed is 64, and x to the power of 3 onto the power of 3 means 3 times 3. So the answer is 64x to the power of 9. Question 22. Y is inversely proportional to the square of x plus 3. Inversely proportional to the square of x plus 3. So this means y is equal to k over x plus 3 squared. When x equals 5, y is 0.375. So we substitute y equals 0.375 equals k over, and in this case x is 5, so 5 plus 3 squared. This one is k over 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 squared is 64. And now to find the value of k, we multiply 0.375 by 64. So k is equal to 24. And now we want to write y in terms of x. Y is equal to k. K is 24 over x plus 3 squared. Question 23. On the axis, sketch the graph of y equals cos x for x from 0 to 360 degrees. So first of all, we draw a table of values for x and y. Y is equal to cos of x. When x is equal to 0 degrees, cos of x is 1. When x is 90 degrees, cos 90 degrees is 0. And cos of 180 degrees is -1. The cos of 270 degrees is 0. Finally, cos of 360 degrees is 1. So we just plot these points together. This is 90, 270, 0, 1. This is the first point. 90, 0 is here. 180, -1 is here. 270, 0 is here. And 361 is around here. And now we join these points together using a curved line to complete the graph of y equals cos of x. B. Solve the equation cos of x equals 0.294. To solve this equation, you need to know that you have two lines, y equals cos of x, which is what we just finished, and now we draw the line y equals 0.294. 0.294 is around here, so I will draw the line 0.294. This is the line y equals 0.294, and we see that it cuts the graph at 2 points. This is the first and this is the second point. The first point here, the second point. To find the first point, we can find the inverse of cos of 0.294. You can use your calculator to help you. It is 72.9 degrees. So suppose that this is 72.9 degrees. Then the distance from 0 to this is 72.9. And to find the other point, you can subtract 360 from 72.9. This is 72.9. So this value is 360 minus 72.9, which is 287.1 degrees. So we say that the other answer is x equals 360 subtract 72.9 equals 287.1 degrees. So we have two answers, 72.9 to 87.1. Question 24. X squared minus 16x plus a. X squared minus 16x can be written in the form x plus b all squared, which means we want to complete the square. So this means x squared minus 2 multiplied by x multiplied by 8. Then we need to add 8 squared. And this will be x minus 8 all squared. In this case, we see that 8 squared is a. So a equals 64. And b is here, negative 8. So b is equal to negative 8. So the answer is 64, negative 8. Question 25. A bag contains 2 green buttons, 5 red and 6 blue buttons. 2 buttons are taken at random without replacement. This is a very important keyword. Calculate the probability that the 2 buttons are different colors. I will introduce 2 solutions for this question. First, you want to find the probability that the 2 buttons are different colors, which means the 2 buttons can be green and red plus red and green. The probability of red and blue plus the probability of blue and red. Finally, we find the probability of green and blue plus the probability of blue and green. In this case, to find the probability, we need to know the total number of buttons. 2 plus 5 plus 6 is 7 plus 6, which is 13. So let's talk about the probability of green, red, plus the probability of red, green. The green is 2 over 13. Multiplied by the red is 5 over 12, because in this case we take it without replacement. So after taking a green button, there are only 12 buttons left. Then the probability of red-green means 5 over 13 multiplied by 2 over 12. Instead of writing this, You can also say that because the two numbers are the same, so we just double this. And then let's talk about the probability of red, blue plus the probability of blue, red. It is, the red is 5 over 13 multiplied by the blue is 6 over 12. Similarly, the probability of blue and red is the same, so we just double this. Finally, the probability of green, blue plus the probability of blue, green is, the green is 2 out of 13 and the blue is 6 out of 12. We also double this. Finally, we add up these three together. We add up them and the answer is 2/3. This is one solution. We can also use another solution, which is, you know that the probability of different colors is the opposite of the probability of the same color. So we can subtract the probability of the same color from 1, which means 1 minus the probability of both red, both green, plus both red, plus both blue, which is, you know that both green means 2 out of 13 multiplied by 1 out of 12. Both red means 5 out of 13 multiplied by 4 out of 12. Plus both blue means 6 out of 13 multiplied by 5 out of 12. And the answer is also 2/3. Question 26. A is the 0.61 and B is the 0.27. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. Suppose that we have the 2 points A and B. Then the perpendicular bisector is the line that is perpendicular to AB and it passes through the midpoint of AB. So remember, there are two things. First, it is perpendicular to AB. Second, it passes through the midpoint of AB. First, we'll find the gradient of AB, which is YB minus YA over XB minus XA. YB is 7 minus 1 over 2 minus 6. 7 minus 1 is 6 over negative 4. And this is equal to negative 3 over 2. So we know that the perpendicular bisector is perpendicular to AB. So the gradient of this perpendicular bisector multiplied by the gradient of AB is equal to negative 1. So to find the gradient of the perpendicular bisector, we need to divide negative 1 by the gradient of AB, which means negative 1 divided by negative 3 over 2. So the answer is 2/3. And now let's talk about the midpoint of AB. The formula for the midpoint is the average of x and the average of y. XA is 6, XB is 2, YA is 1, YB is 7. 8 over 2 is 4. 8 over 2 is 4. So now we see that we know that the general form of a line is y equals mx plus c. In this case, we know that this line, the gradient is 2/3. Here it is. The gradient is 2/3. and it passes through the point 4, 4. So we substitute the gradient 2/3 and the points and the midpoint 4, 4 into this equation. So C is equal to 4 minus 2/3 times 4, which is 4/3. And now we know that the gradient is 2/3 and C is 4/3. So the final answer is 2/3 of x plus 4/3. This is the end of the test.